Okay, so we're doing a spinal segmentation cat-cow. So a cat-cow typically is just simply going full flexion and full extension. What we're going to do here is we're going to try and articulate all 33 vertebrae from your tailbone right at your very, very bottom into your pelvis, all the way up to your head. We're trying to go one vertebrae at a time. So I'm going to start going into flexion out of my tailbone and lumbar spine. And we're going to go super, super slow, just trying to round in one thing at a time. So as I do that, I'm really trying to get each vertebrae, trying to stay in extension of my upper back as my low back starts flexing in, mid back, upper back. And then you're going to make sure that you, as you do this, there's going to be certain vertebrae that don't want to move individually by themselves. So when you're in full flexion, I like to give it a little rock, push through all of those different positions. If you push back, you'll get more into your low back. If you push forward, you'll get more into your upper back. And then again, from flexion, we're going to go into extension one vertebrae at a time. Going into that low back now, into the mid back, and then going into the upper back. Now, as we get into the upper back here, I want you to grip the floor with your fingers, push away your collarbone, and shrug your shoulders down. It'll give you good extension. And then we're lifting the back of the head to the sky. A lot of people try and lift the top of the head to the sky, and it'll wrench through your neck a little bit too much. So we want to push the back of the head to the sky, and then you can kind of unravel it a little bit higher. Now, if you're doing this pull towards your knees, you should feel your low traps and rhomboids turn on right underneath your shoulder blades and between them. And then again, going into that flexion, one vertebrae at a time. The reason for this is if we can move each vertebrae individually, then they can function together. Each one can get a small degree of rotation or a small degree of compression or a small degree of force, and it can disperse along the whole thing. If we have multiple vertebrae in a row that are stuck together and they don't move, then all of the force that could be dispersed between all of them now gets stuck in one spot, and that's when we typically get some injuries. So we need each one of those vertebrae to be healthy and functioning, and that's when we're going to feel good, we're going to move better, and we're going to live a longer, happier life.